Greetings YouTube, this is the Garage Autonomist. I'm actually done with the last installment for Deepening Fault Lines, but I may not post it until the weekend, most likely Sunday. I have some maintenance to take care of on my PC. Things are getting tight in terms of hard drive space, and there are some library files that seem to be corrupted in my OS. And I need to look into that because it's been crashing my video editing application lately, which delays the work progress. Now, you can stop with the anti-Linux open source cracks. I did set up the latest version of Windows Movie Maker on my Windows partition, and I still need to make a virtual machine that runs Mac so I can start doing work using Premiere or Final Cut Pro. In the meantime, I want to talk about who are the pro-blacks, an idea for a series I planned on doing back in late fall, but changed my mind. I think what I really want to do is make a very long intro to give a historical account of how I see the root of where the Black liberation struggle began, how it branched out, then ultimately faded out into what we now label as pro-black, which is, in my opinion, a sad fucking derivative. Then I want to do an episode as a follow-up, what is known as the Black radical tradition, or Black left. Why did it disappear, and why it is needed today? I'm thinking about doing these two future videos because ignorance abounds, not only from the predominant white reactionaries of social media, but from those users who are black as well, and surprisingly, from those who identify as being pro-black, or supposedly black conscious. You knew that this was coming sooner or later. For instance, earlier this week, I heard an idiot who happened to identify himself as pro-black asking how another black man and YouTuber could be pro-black and identify themselves as humanists and a supporter of LGBT people. Then this same two-legged mollusk asks of the other black YouTuber, how can he be pro-black and be married to a non-black woman? Of course, this coward did not ask the YouTuber these questions directly. Instead, he just asked these questions to his own viewing audience on YouTube and his dumbass zombies who listen to him on Blog Talk Radio, or rather, as I call it, Hood Rat Technology Radio, because it blows me away that you idiots pay $40 a month to still sound like shit, as if you are talking from a can.
Oh, just nigga technology anyway.
Well, excuse me for being into computers and shit, alright?
First of all, motherfucker, just because you put a two-way page in the middle of your desk, don't make it a computer. It's a two-way pager, alright?
Okay, then what's the difference?
The difference is a computer is something that does actual work. Nigga technology don't do much more than let dumb niggas talk to other dumb niggas about dumb nigga shit.
Now, I covered this subject matter in two different older episodes, the interracial video and the new forms video. My arguments were as solid then as they are now. I stick to them because working for your diaspora has nothing to do with family or having much less a family that is interracial. Being married to someone, whether they are in your ethnic group or not, does not entail that you love or respect the women of your community any more than if you were in fact married to someone from a different ethnic group or community. There are plenty of black leaders who have been married to the women of their ethnic group, and some of them have some pretty shady ways as married men, meaning they didn't respect their wives very much. Elijah Muhammad certainly did not, nor did he respect young black girls and their physical autonomy. The people who typically ask how one can be pro-black and yet claim to be humanist or class warriors or feminist or any other identity or political position that they espouse are often those who are pro-black in posturing only. In other words, they most likely don't do anything else but run their mouths as dogmatic ideologues, but have never been a part of a movement or has never organized anything. I have seen white upper-class women come to weekly meetings to help get a black man off of death row. I have seen black LGBT people work to stop police violence against black people of any sexual orientation or gender. I have seen white working class men march and protest to convict killer cops of a Mexican immigrant man. Ask how these people can be who they are and be for black people. See, a bunch of low intel do-nothing would be the only ones to say shit like this. I bet if all the black folks became exactly the kinds of people these idiots envision to be as our leaders, they'd still be the ones sitting on the sidelines, talking shit, making BTR shows, fucking YouTube videos, and saying black people aren't doing anything right because XYZ. Seriously, we need to just act like these motherfuckers don't exist. Which is the reason why I'm not naming this mollusk's name. Lastly, I want to give a shout out to John De La Logica, who's now known as Do You Like Apples? I don't know why he changed his name. But anyway, I want to give a huge shout out to him for a recent Google Hangout that he did with a young brother who they weren't exactly in lockstep or on the same page on a lot of issues, but carried on a really good conversation, a really good debate. It's almost embarrassing, really, to have to give credit to black YouTubers for doing newsy bridge building stuff using social media, because the standard of the way that I've seen African Americans using social media to talk to each other or to talk about anything has fallen so incredibly low. And because of that, you have to say good work on something that should simply be fucking normal. So keep up the good work, John. That was a really good episode. I had to look at it in chunks. I'm not huge on like 2-3 hour type shows, but that's just me. Now, on that note, I do hope that John continues on and have other guests. I know that you have a beef with New Possibilities, and I'm not trying to put y'all on the spot or nothing, but I really like y'all to do like a hangout live together where y'all are just chopping shit up, even if it becomes a debate. Lastly, I got to give a shout out to Big J Triple X for making me laugh this past weekend when he talked about the subject matter of polygamy as it was talked about by the YouTube channel Talk Real Solutions. I think that's what they're called. I've never heard of them before. I never looked at their show until after I heard the Big J episode. Again, they kind of do these long episodes, so I had to kind of cut that down. I had to look at it for about an hour and a half or something like that, and then come back and look at the last hour and a half of the video. Now, I think I may want to do a video dedicated to the subject myself of polygamy because, one, I think it's a myth that polygamy even exists in the black community. For polygamy to happen, you need for there to be a committed relationship between the male and the multiple women involved, and they all need to know of each other's existence. All right? And they need to be wedded. Now, the state not recognizing their union or seeing it as even legal is another subject altogether. But to call a marriage polygamous means that it needs to be a marriage period and not a group of baby mamas fighting over some random idiot's $42,000 annual income. Big J Triple X went in on the channel's host and had me cracking up on his posit that if you do such a thing and you run off and you form a closed community based on polygamy, you could run the risk of inbreeding, which Big J is and always will be very right about that particular subject. I even have to say that right now, with the inner city community going at the rate it's going, I think we run the risk of that. I have a friend of mine who is a family court lawyer in Philly, and the dude ran a story past me about 10 years ago where a young lady was trying to take her baby's father to court for child support, And of course, he demanded a paternity test, which he should not have done. Because as it turned out, damned if the results not only showed that her children were in fact his, but the mother had his DNA as well. The next week, when the girl's mother came in to the court, she had to admit that the silver fox that was messing around with her 20-something-year-old daughter was indeed an old lover of hers. And now, as it turned out, he was her daughter's father. So I guess hillbillies don't have that hold on the stereotype anymore. I mean, shit, what's next? Black male mass shooters? As I said, I might talk about the myth of polygamy in the black community. So look out for that, but, don't hold your breath. I got so many other things that I'd much rather talk about beforehand. So, all right, this is the Garage Autonomous. Peace.